Welcome everyone to the ANA eLearning Academy. Today we're going to have a presentation on the production technology of ancient coinage. If you have any questions during the presentation, you will have to put them into the Q&A or the chat, and I will read them at the end. And you can go ahead and get started. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Logan. I am Al-Mu'taz Billah El-Shahawi, conservator at Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. I'm very happy to be for the first time with American Numismatic Association. I am very interested to study ancient coinage, history, deterioration, conservation, and authenticity. And today I'm going to show you a presentation about the production technology of ancient coinage. The presentation content: introduction, ancient coinage materials, manufacturing techniques of ancient coinage, coinage production tools, coinage production stages, the different features and characteristics between Eptolemic and Roman coinage. For the production of ancient coinage, it was well known that form follows function. In order to produce a legal coin, it was necessary to have the correct materials and strict controls for its standardized design and production. It is then that the legitimate authority approves the striking of land with a certain purity and weight to produce the official coin that can be used as legal tender. The authority certifies that the newly minted coin is legal currency, at least within the area governed by that power. Although the production of ancient coinage involves simple tools, their fine quality, design, and extremely beautiful details speaks otherwise. Ancient coinage materials. Different metals have been used in the production of ancient coin. Before the invention of coinage, gold nuggets served as a store of wealth, medium of exchange, and a standard of value. Ingots or rings of copper, rarely silver, were sometimes used as money. The standard unit of weight was the deben, weighing 13.6 grams during the Old and Middle Kingdom, and 91 to 95 grams in the New Kingdom. One deben was divided into 10 kidid or kite. Coins were made of pieces of gold, silver, or bronze, known as blanks, which were cast or cut to specific weights. For the gold, the first coinage was dated back to Lydia Kingdom, about 7th century BCE. It was made from electrum alloy, the naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver. Egypt had rich sources of gold from mines in the eastern desert and Nubia, but most of this metal belonged to the pharaoh. For the silver, silver was particularly prized in Egypt, where it was so rare that it was sometimes valued at half its weight in gold. Silver must be refined from minerals, ores. Lots of coin were made from silver and its alloys like bullion. The use of bullion coins dates from ancient Greece. Bullion is an alloy of silver with a majority base metal content of copper. It's used chiefly for making coins. For the bronze, lots of coins were made from bronze. And here you can see the symbolized of gold and silver and electron in ancient Egyptian writing. And here you can see electrum coins, Roman gold coins, silver coins, and bronze coins. Coinage production. There were two techniques to produce the ancient coinage. The first technique is casting. Metal casting and smithing is a staple of most ancient civilization. Casting refers to coins made by pouring melted metal into a mold. It has been used for regular coins, particularly in the Far East, but also other areas on a smaller scale. For example, the ancient Mediterranean world. Traditional Far Eastern cast coins, called cash coins, are the most famous example of cast coinage and were issued from the 4th century BC. The second technique is striking or hammering, and to make a coin through a hammering technique, a blank was a sandwich between a pair of dies with engraved designs. This was then struck or hit with a heavy hammer, the force of which impressed the design into the coin on both sides. A good smithing operation could produce around 20,000 strikes in one day. The ancient Romans were able to produce about 17 million coins per year. Here you can see clay mold that used to produce the ancient coinage by casting technique. And here you can see the striking or hammering technique that used also to produce ancient coinage. For the advantages of casting technique, high quality, rarely get a mint errors. Disadvantages, predominantly in bronze, long time to produce a large numbers of coins. Each coin needs to a mold. Almost you have to break the mold to get off the coin. For the striking advantages, appropriate time to produce a large number of coins from the same die and high quality. The disadvantages of striking process sometimes get a wear mint, usually when the die overuse, sometimes get a mint errors. The necessary tools to produce coinage. The worker that have been worked in the production of ancient coinage we use some tools to produce the coinage. Here you can see hammer, punch, anvil bench, and the obverse and reverse dies and blanks. And here you can see the only denarius of Jono Moneta that shows how coins were made. You can see here tangs and cap, hammer and anvil. An experienced blacksmith could use up to 1,000 dies per year. The stages of coinage production. For the casting process, you have to have ingots, firing clay mold inscription, melting process, molding the melt in clay mold, break the mold to get off the coins. At the end, you have to weigh the coin to approved. For the striking process, you have to have the die engraved, ingots, molding the melt in clay mold, flam preparation like trim or cut or polish, and then hammering. At the end, you have to weigh the coin to approved. Die engraving stages were unknown. The design for one side of the coin, usually the obverse, was engraved into a metal disc or a die which fit into an anvil, and the design for the reverse side was curved into the base of a metal punch. Though some dies were made of iron, engraving in iron was difficult, so dies made of bronze were far more prevalent. At some point, some designs were digit when found to be too complex. A metal stamping tool engraved with the negative of a design from which the positive image is transferred to the coin blanks during minting. The obverse die was placed in an anvil while the reverse die was held by the mint worker. The tradition of die engravers or designers signing their work is not a modern invention. It goes back to the 5th century BC. The high point for signed dies came in Sicily in the late 5th century BC. At this time, many Sicilian artists signed their dies almost as if there was a competition among the engravers to see who could produce the most beautiful coin. These men clearly were proud of their work, and they wanted everyone to know who had produced the dies. Some of them workers only for one city, their hometown, whereas others produced dyes for more than one mint. In Egypt, early in the 3rd century BC, we encounter the Delta engraver who signed many dies used to strike coins for kings of Ptolemy I and of Ptolemy II, using a small delta behind the king's ear. And here the worker who engraved the dies, he has to start with a border of dots, and then he has to do circular mark for the legend position, and then legend representation, and then the legend name and his title in Latin. At the end, the result on the coin. The different features and characteristics between Eptolemic and Roman coinage. The Eptolemic coinage, the Ptolemaic kingdom was an ancient Hellenistic state based in Egypt. It was founded in 305 BC by Ptolemy I Soter, a companion of Alexander the Great, and lasted until the death of Cleopatra VII in 30 BC. Eptolemic coinage forms and features often featured Zeus Ammon on obverse, often showed eagles standing on thunderbolt and littering King Ptolemy on reverse, big thickness and diameter, obverse appearance smaller than the reverse, central cavity on both faces, especially after 264 BC. And here you can see clearly the central cavities under scanning electron microscope. For the description of Eptolemic coins, obverse and reverse and milled edge and central cavities, and here also you can see clearly the central cavity under digital microscope. Here you can see Ptolemaic kings start with Ptolemy I and until the Cleopatra VII. For the Roman coinage, Roman rule in Egypt, including Byzantine, lasted from 30 BC to 641 AD. The city of Alexandria became a key trading outpost for the Roman Empire. By some accounts, the most important for a time, and culturally, the city of Alexandria at times rivaled Rome in its importance. Roman coinage features and characteristics often featured god or emperor on obverse, and his title in Latin often showed monuments or animals on reverse, often showed abbreviation like IMP for emperor, AVG for Augustus, CAES for Caesar, SC for Senatus Consultus. Here you can see some Roman coinage that shows monuments or animals, and here the Roman emperors from August until Vitellius. The denomination of Eptolemic and Roman coinage. The monetary system was different and changeable during Eptolemic and Roman period. Historical point of view, one of the means to deliberately decrease the weight of the coins because financial necessity, serious financial trouble that happened to some emperors, the reduced availability of raw materials during that period, which led the empire to reduce the weight of the coinage, and that often to the determinant of quality. Eptolemic coinage denomination. Here you can see the most used coins denomination and their relative size during Eptolemic times. You can see obol, tetraobol, octaobol, dram, and tetradram. And here for the Roman coinage denomination, you can see also the most commonly used coinage denomination and their relative size during Roman period. The denarius was one of the most popular coins in the Roman Empire. It was equivalent to a daily wage. One denarius equal 1 day's work. At the end, I'm going to show you a video about how ancient coinage were made.
Coin minting techniques were shrouded in secrecy in antiquity. Because of this secrecy, we don't know precisely how ancient coins were produced. But modern experiments like this one have attempted to recreate and better understand those techniques. Coins start as discs of metal called blanks. To combat efforts to counterfeit coins, the weights were typically standardized. Producing blanks of consistent weight was a technical challenge because the raw material is molten metal, which can be difficult and dangerous to handle. In this experimental recreation, a mold is prepared to create a number of blanks. It is made from foundry sand, a mixture of clay and sand that can resist high temperatures. With great care, coin-size indentations are punched into the mold. To ease the flow of molten metal, which in this case will be silver, small channels are made between the round marks. Solid silver is heated in a crucible to its melting point of 1763 degrees Fahrenheit. It is then poured into the molds and allowed to cool. When cool, the blanks are trimmed to remove excess silver left over from the connecting channels. Blanks that are not of the correct weight and size are rejected. out in relief. One die will impress an image on the obverse side of the coin, and the other on the reverse side. You can think of obverse and reverse as being similar to heads and tails. To strike a coin, the obverse die is set into an immobile object, such as an anvil. A blank, which has been heated to make the metal more malleable, is placed on top of it. The reverse die is held by hand above the blank and struck by a heavy hammer. The result is a finished coin that is ready for use.
And here's some bibliography that you can use it to read more information about the history and the production of ancient coinage. And here's some website that also use that you can find a lot of example for Eptolemic and Roman coinage. Thank you so much for your attention, and if you have any question, I will be happy to answer. Thank you so much.
Were casting coins only one-sided?
Really, it's just one side, but almost all coins even made from casting technique or striking with both sides. So
Thank you. If you have any interest in any other webinars, we'll have those up on our website, and you can sign up and register for those. Thank you all for joining us.